Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to the horror at Highrook, where today we have some more serious threats than we have had in the past to deal with. But I think we should be on top of this. So, in order to clear this guy out of the archives, we're going to need somebody to show up here with three archive skill, right? Because we got the eyepiece to support us, and then the gift of the moth to push us again. Fortunately, that's only one level up for either of the memories people, and we do have this growing insight. So I think we can do this. Between the two of them, I think I'm gonna push because we're upgrading Javid's crank, which should off put the need for leveling up our actual machinist. I think I like Vitali leveling up because we also get high difficulty tasks in the study and yeah. So this is we're good on this, right? We need three. I have the growing insight and the gift of the toad, and that's not good enough. Even we need another growing insight actually. Well, never mind. Or we need no, it's gonna have to be another growing insight. I was gonna say getting another support item doesn't even matter because we do only have two slots here. Well, we were also about to forge ourselves an upgrade to the machinist crank, and I think that's definitely got to remain the case. Also, people are starting to get pretty hungry, and I think it probably behooves us then to deal with that. So I guess do we have anything that we want people doing? I guess use the field telescope again. I guess let's see if we see anything. Just again, have people do stuff that might be of value while we wait for the forge thing to complete, and then we'll do the basic meal. Have everybody eat. Yeah, I really do need you to get leveled up again. Okay. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Uh Nobody's horribly tired. I guess Vitali, you can I don't know. We're not going to find anything down here, but just to have everybody engaged in a task. All right, there we go. Okay, Stokes the Raven. Which kind of bonuses do you provide? Unfortunately, no task support for the schoolroom. Also, I guess it wouldn't matter because again, the problem is not we need both of the support cards to generate, or well, we need the support cards together to generate 4 levels. All right, some Emberstone. It's a thing we might go refining soon enough. We found something of value. An Ember Wraith showing up in the kitchen is kind of annoying, but I guess not the end of the world. Ember Fungus here to get fixed up. Javid's Crank for that. And let's place some people in the dining room. And also bump one of these things out of the dining room. I guess the ration box can wait for us down here. All right. Just have ourselves a basic meal. Okay, so now that we've dealt with all that, how's Caligar? Okay, Caligar is still an alcoholic. Staying sober will eventually remove the condition. I was going to say, it doesn't seem like we've taken a lot of damage since. All right, now that we have the crank at level 2, we can have somebody crack this well house code pretty easily. That's useful. We got an extra healing sprig here. We got an extra ritual offering here. Again, just like random inspiration, not really what we're looking for. I wish I remembered what I did to generate this growing insight. Unfortunately, it's been like a weekend since the last episode, and I'm a little out of practice now. You know what? You can keep doing that infinitely. What else needs doing? I mean, we can crack open this ritual offering. I suppose we may as well. Doesn't really cost us anything. Caligar, you got nothing to do. I apologize. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. We can make this happen. I can refine this ember fungus because we are going to need to upgrade more tools eventually. Alright, well house is open. So, what have we discovered here? Alfred's note 2. Things are getting worse with the master. I heard strange noises in the chapel last night and went to investigate. Lord Acheron was there in a circle of candlelight, a book in one hand and some old necklace thing in the other. He was jabbering and incanting. Breach the circles, coalesce and condense, meld the mind and join the flesh. Horrible. Now I am even more worried for him and the family. I do not want anyone else getting poorly. The master has been getting even more deliveries of secret materials, too. Ingots stamped with old-time runes. I am no thief, but I will turn to hiding these when they arrive. I hope if someone one day judges me, they will understand why I have done what I've done. I gotta tell you, one of the strangest bits of British English to me is poorly as an adjective. It just seems like such a mangling. Huh, a chore in the forge. Amy and Alfred, I need you to sort through the refuse in the forge before next week. Not only is it becoming a tempting nest for rats, but it might also be where I mislaid the lantern I bought from Ashburg. I should really like to locate the device before winter sets in. Well, that seems extremely doable. A little gift to the Firefly would get anybody on top of that. We also have here a small dented lockbox designed to keep personal items safe. We can crack through this for sure. And this Ember Wraith is going to cause this meat to go bad. We're not close to fixing that up yet. It's a lot of skill. Yeah, I guess just jump on this. Like, it's okay to spend the inspiration. We'll get more. Alright, nothing found at the cliff top. Ember liquid worked out over here, which is nice. Oh, also a fishing rod. A crooked pole and knotted line. Simon's beaten old fishing rod, a gift from some long-forgotten friend of the family. Its main feature is its durability, managing to remain serviceable after years of being used to retrieve paper planes from trees and lift baskets through windows. The well house itself is a crumbling outhouse built around an old well. The surrounding rooms converted into a pair of dingy bedrooms. Their narrow confines are crammed with the simple objects of a simple life. Does anybody naturally have tears as a skill? I think that's my first time seeing that symbol. Oh, Aster actually totally does. Well, alright. We'll try fishing for some clues here in a second once we get this box open. Okay, that box was absolutely full of shit. Holy crow. Pa Alfred is up to something. I don't know if it's down to his bad dreams. He's been talking in his sleep, fever-like. I keep hearing him muttering, even crying. Worse though, I know he's been stashing deliveries around the house. They're things addressed to his lordship, hidden by Pa Alfred. Boy, who on earth could possibly think that's a whole sentence? I do not ask him about it. He's troubled enough, what with Lord Gideon acting all strange and Simon getting so poorly. We're a sad household. I don't want Pa to get into trouble when the things he hid are missed, and I've made notes of them. He thinks I don't know, but he's about as subtle as a goat, and his eyes are so bad he can hardly see me when I'm presently standing in front of him. Okay, so we got a bunch of notes that are going to require different skills to peel apart here. And we'll figure those out in a second. Let's see Alfred's note 3 over here. Oh, perhaps I am cursed. Since I have been diverting the Lord's deliveries, my dreams have been most strange. I see them like vivid plays upon a stage. Visions. I see a lady, a right pretty lady. She's outside the house, just sitting solitary in the courtyard. The Song is her name. I just know it in the dream. She looks like a chanteuse from Wilkins or another fancy city place. But there's something about her eyes and her dress. It shifts around like water. Last night I saw her. You are saving them, she told me. I tried to speak, but I could not. Perhaps I cannot speak in dreams. Bring our words back to us, she then says, and the world will be set right again. I want to get closer to her, to know what it means. But damn Tubbs woke me up jumping on my face. Tubbs, come on now. And we have discovered the lamp, a miracle of modern technology. This handheld lantern produces its illumination through mechanical means. A small crank allows the user to charge up an internal battery which powers the device. This allows the lamp to have near unlimited use as long as you don't get it wet. With this to aid us, we should be able to explore further into the depths of the cellars. 3 is not a trivial amount of secrets to generate, but we do have a gift of the rat. Nobody's really good at this yet. All right. Let us take a second and look through these hidden stash notes now. All right, so this one is a guest rooms item. I'd been making the beds and rolling up the old linen when Pa comes in. He looks all nervous, looking over his shoulder like that, like someone's following him. He tells me that he heard the Lady Sophia calling for me, that I need to go see her sharp. But I know he ain't all telling the truth here. So when I leave the room, I waits outside the door for a while. I can hear him stashing something in there, clanking with a noise that only the old washbowl makes. So I reckon he stashed another of his secrets there. Now I keep meaning to go back and see what it might be. I hope it's not just more smokeweed. But with Simon so poorly, I'm spending most of my time taking care of him. Okay. There's another hidden stash in the kitchen somewhere. I was in the kitchen and Pa comes in, all clumsy and loud. He's dragging a sack of coal for the stove, and he don't see me as I'm in the pantry sorting some provisions. He drops the bag and then takes something small and shiny from his pocket and puts it in one of the tool drawers under the sinks, the ones no one ever uses. It covers it up, I reckon, because I can hear him rattling about with the other stuff in there. And when he starts stoking the fire, I come out and give him a hug and don't say anything. Poor old fool. And finally, a hidden stash in the basement. I don't like going down the cellars much. Top chambers are okay, but once you get further down, it gets all clammy and sick feeling. There's too many doors. I don't know my way around, but I had to go down yesterday because Mr. Gideon wanted some bottles of liquor. And when I gets there, I see Pa shuffling around, wedging a box up on one of the beams. Well, what are you up to, old man? I says cheerily, but he replies in some dark tone, Never you mind, child. Ain't none of your business. I felt all taken aback, but I says nothing and carry on with my chore. But I did remember the joist, though, where you put the box thing on top. Okay. So, a lot of important work to get done here. I do want to have Aster attempt to fish in the well, though. Very curious what we might get out of this. And then as far as working these notes goes, I do think that... So we just barely have 3 skill. We're not going to be able to fix this one just yet. This one's the same difficulty as Joskel's letter, yeah. But I might go ahead and put Atticus down here, spend the gift of the rat, and try out this electro lamp, see what kind of new stuff we do get. And then you probably are not immediately useful for anything. Obviously, we don't want to try to work out the hidden stash thing until the Ember Wraith is gone. So I guess we don't have anything super, super compelling to do at the moment with the other characters. We could have somebody take some blood, but it's not like we need more boost items for the lab. We are fairly drowning in them. I guess let's just... We can let these people rest. Yeah, let's see what we get from these new interaction items. Okay, some healing jelly. When applied to the skin with clinical supervision, the tendrils of this Medusa can heal injury and restore death. A glob of viscous life drawn from the depths of the well. A mindless jelly, its body a bag of cleansing chemicals. What a weird thing. I mean, Caligar does have some wounds still. Go ahead and try to apply the jelly. Let's see what happens. We also found a slumberfish. A dainty sliver of a thing. This pastel purple algae eater lives mostly in darkened pools of cave mouths and coves. Its sluggish movements and sleepy eyes hint at the soporific effects of its flesh. We probably need to prepare this. This is going to be useful for one of the hidden stash notes for sure. Alright, we've also found Alfred's note 4 here. I have spread the metal runes around the house in hiding places. Amy caught me moving one, but I do not think she saw what I was doing. I'm not sure what I did has helped the curse, though. Simon has not returned from Black Sands. Sophia seems to have vanished, and the Lord is still down there chanting. My own dreams are also becoming more like nightmares. The song was in my dream again. She stood on our own cliff tops, her eyes shining out bright like the moon. She sung for the darkness. She wants me to bring her the runes. Then she can cure Lord Gideon's madness. She can protect us, shelter us, she said, in the dream. Now I have started to hear her voice in the day. I am afraid of what might happen. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think it's a reasonable response to that. And also we've discovered some of Sophia's notes. A handful of mechanist notes written by the Lady Sophia Acheron. There's some sort of design sketched out in here. Well, I know exactly who to put on such a task. Aster, where'd you go? This card can only be used by... Oh, sorry, it's a study card, not a... Yep, fortunately we have a very upgraded pen, which will help you read the notes. It's not clear to me exactly how it works. These things are a little mysterious. Alright, we're not ready for this again yet then, so why don't you just go and field telescope me again. And Vitaly, I guess just hang out for a second. Right, because you don't have machines. Yeah, it's fine. Gotta get that wraith out of here. So the slumberfish requires 3 points of that skill, so we actually do need somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, Caligar once again healed up. Got ourselves some raw meat, which we may well use. And now, Atticus, if you wouldn't mind preparing this slumberfish here. All right, what else do we got? Sophia's blueprint. The architecture of ideas and electricity laid out like a geometric atlas. Some sections are blurred or faded, like lost paths that peter out into the page. Let us hope we extrapolate from the annotations to fill these gaps and build whatever device is being described. And this is actually a machine room task. And one that should be no problem at all. That's interesting. It's speaking. Circles within. Okay. We found useless junk. The designs have led nowhere. It is not the tools. The entire idea is unworkable. Also, we made some delicious soup. A thin yet pungent broth, infused with the soporific flesh of the slumberfish. The orphanages of Deepspire often keep cauldrons of the stuff bubbling in their great dorm rooms. Shadowy matrons doling out bowls to guarantee a quiet night. Sadly, at only +1, that's still not actually going to be enough to push us up to a hidden stash kind of level. This useless junk is a huge disappointment. Really, really crummy. Where's that? Here, we gotta process this Emberstone because I need to upgrade the eyepiece, or else we're never gonna deal with this guy. So yeah, you go ahead and make that work. And really, I'm mostly waiting on you. Alright, so Ember Shards plus Irving's eyepiece. Okay, that'll cover that. May as well crack this shipping crate while we're here. Alright, found ourselves some soporific snuff, a tracker's guide, an Ember Wraith has come to the cliff top. Cliff top's getting mighty complicated. Irving's eyepiece is leveled up enough that we should now be able to deal with this shambling ghoul. Yeah, the gift of the moth will just get us there. Good luck, Vitali. And in the interim, I think this is how we generate insight, right? In the interim, we could have somebody pursue the stash. You should be capable of this, I would think. And then we definitely want to do some more fishing. So we're going to need to replace that soporific fish, but also there, who knows what else might be down there. We've only done this once or twice. And aside from that, I think we're waiting. I don't think we have any other critical tasks. I suppose you could just take this opportunity to prepare some meat into a dinner. Okay, so in addition to all the other things going on, Caligar's Note 3. I've always been concerned with diseases of the body, but what we see here makes me wonder if the true malady is one of the world. Just as a sickness is a derangement of the systems of the body by the introduction of some alien antagonist, so our own world is sickened by the presence of things to which it must respond and react. Perhaps when all this is done, we should look at what might make our world more resistant to corruption. If a person must eat well, see the sun shine, and keep themselves active, then there are also habits that the world as a whole must adopt to protect from decay. A philosophy for defense of our realm. Indeed, I must strive to remove my own poison from my life and habits. Okay, we got the Senville Gazette here. Sick clown disturbs library toad speaker. Wow. I know all of those words, but I can't make heads or tails of that sentence. A public lecture at Black Sands General Library by noted toad expert Dr. Thylan Mortottle. Oh my god, that's a good NPC name, particularly a good NPC professor type name. Was disturbed on Wednesday by the actions of a fully painted clown. The entertainer, who was noted to have been from out of town, unnerved lecture attendees by standing silently in the audience for the first part of the lecture. He was later ejected on issuing toad-like screams as Dr. Mortottle's speech continued. The clown, whose whereabouts are unknown, is said to have made threats and brandished a bone knife at librarians. Dr. Mortottle has reportedly canceled forthcoming events in his Pond Life lecture series. That's a fucking weird occurrence. That's legitimately fucked up. The ghoul is searching clumsily for something, knocking furniture over and flailing against the walls. The turning, the burning, it mimes indecipherably. The edge, the glint. Why will this thing not die, even if it would be a second death? Aster shakes her head in confusion. It seems to be driven by more than just the will of its masters. Okay, well, I mean, it's in a place where we can attempt to drive it again. We have the appropriate tools. Vitali, keep working on it. You're not too injured just yet. We need to give people some rest, but also this is happening, and it's critically important. We discovered an eroded cartouche, a burnished rectangle of some kind of ancient metal. Vague letter forms or runes could be seen etched across its surface, but they are blurred and smudged by the passage of time. With careful study and interpretation, we might still be able to tease a meaning from the text. That is 7 mysteries that requires. That one's it's gonna be a minute. Right here we have an arcane lens, which we can use in the chapel. A stained and ancient optic device. The well slime has been wiped from its surface, yet the lens remains dull and opaque. A strange runic symbol marks its face, hinting that true reparation might require more mystical measures. That's interesting. And then Flicker Fry here is a shoal of glowing tadpoles. They dart across the water like miniature shooting stars. Tiny chemical engines power their miraculous onboard illumination. Okay, this seems like it might produce an item that will be helpful in the cellar. So let's see if we can't distill something useful out of them. All right, you're rumbling in the chapel. You just made us a meal. This is not quite sufficient. We're gonna need to upgrade the pot before we can do that. I mean, I guess I should be digging up trying to gather the materials for another good forging. We did pick up some growing insight there, so I guess we could. We should level up somebody who has the cellar skill for sure. I don't think Atticus is a bad call here, although the scholar might also make sense. No, I kind of like Atticus for this actually. Let's let him go ahead and do this, and then we'll put him on that. You just go ahead and fish again, and we're all gonna take a nap soon. We're gonna need one. Need new skin. Well, who among us, right? Okay. We've at least chased it out, and another growing insight for us. We found more healing jelly and another Flicker Fry. Which we did, in fact, produce a glowing flask from. A flask holding the distilled luminescence of flickerfish glands. When shaken, the chemicals within provide brief but bright illumination. Pretty handy. Okay, so let's get Atticus a level. My man could use an upgrade because his skills are big and important. And then we'll move the growing insight in. Obviously, do I want to try to deal with this right now? It does only take 3 task focus, so Vitaly should be able to just keep pushing along, right? I guess we're gonna need another glowing flask, but we did just get another. Yeah, we can just we just produce another one of these, and then yeah, like I was saying, we are going to need to actually sleep soon. I guess I'm pursuing one more time though, so let's get everybody to act one more time. And then we'll have enough growing insight, probably, to level somebody else up. To be reborn, to make anew, the scent of memories. The wretched thing stumbles around, hissing with rage. Lies, false songs, false dreams. Okay, all right. I'll tell you what, you stay right there. We're gonna be right with you, sir. It's gonna take a second here. Let me get everybody a little bit of bar restoration. And we do, in fact, have a pair of growing insights. We will process those very soon. Perhaps we should focus our efforts elsewhere. No, Caligar, you do have to sleep occasionally. Alright, new gift to the snake. That seems fine. Whatever. Okay, so with Atticus having leveled up, who do we want to push next? Is it Caligar, maybe? Their overlap is just the 2. Atticus overlaps with Vitaly on basically nothing. It should probably be Vitaly. Oh, I need to get another didactic, shoot. Yeah, we need to do a little bit more archives work, I think, for that. Oh, there is this orderly reference that we should probably get to as well, but for now, let's just focus on this. Get some archive key work done, try to find ourselves another training program. We're gonna need to produce Wait, did we not produce the flask? Maybe it wasn't producible yet? Okay, you go fish. Get me some more, because we're going to need another one of those glowy flasks. Atticus, you go dig in the courtyard, which you can now do by yourself without needing any assistance. And you kind of just need to, I don't know, just hang out for a second. Do you have, oh, you do have mysteries. So you could actually go and handle the ghoul. Okay, found ourselves a didactic program. Let's move the raven. Move this garden guide over. So this is going to be Vitali's job here. The ghoul has returned to the chapel. Interesting. We found a slumberfish and a sturdy container. A metal artifact box retrieved from the well. It is slimy and rusted from its time in the water, but the sturdy lock is still intact. Something rattles loosely within, but we will require some mechanical persuasion to extract the contents. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of doing, I guess. Atticus, if you could go and maybe get some field telescope work done here. Mechanist Astor and Caligar, Dr. Caligar are the two who could most use a turn petting the cat. I think that's perfectly fine there. This requires 6 task focus, so that's not really on the table right now. Maybe I just have you fish again, because I really would like to produce another one of those glowing flasks. Do you want to go again? Yes, I think so. Alright, Vitalia has leveled up. Fantastic news. Got ourselves some more Emberstone that we definitely need to walk. Some more raw meat that we probably also... Well, it's not terribly important. Here's the flicker fry that we needed. Alright, you can go and produce that. May as well cook this up. Okay. Actually, I guess Atticus, you know what? Atticus has the skill necessary to just hit the lamp by himself now. And he'll be able to do the letter with the flicker fry. So I guess let's get on that. Down here, we're going to need 5 of this task, which actually is no problem at all for new and improved Vitali. It's very well suited to this task. We have 1 growing insight already. Oh, I forgot to press the button on you. I feel like you should know what I'm trying to get you to do. Alright, we're just chasing this ghoul all over the place. The thing staggers about the chamber, howling like an injured bear. My home, betrayed. Sweet moonlit eyes. Anger burns in its empty sockets. Wait, I recognize that voice. Atticus's fists bunch and his eyes narrow. It's Alfred, the groundskeeper. Part of him is still in there, trapped, angry, wild with fear. On hearing its name called, the ghoul howls again and launches itself at Hawk, its broken fingers clawing at the air. Okay, that's not great. Okay, so over here it's going to require 2 skill to take down. We can absolutely assemble 2 skill. So somebody's got to go work... Sorry, that's not right. Work this Emberstone. Got the super soup for later, and I'm sure we will need it. And then we also have to get the fungus that grows in the cellars for Dr. Caligar to turn into the other Ember item. Or we could just get an inspiration. Either one would work. While we're waiting here, do we want to just throw Caligar in the school? Oh, well, I can't, right? There is archiving work to be done first. And unfortunately, I can't really make that happen right this second. Oh, no, you can be doing that. Okay. And you can just wait, I guess. I don't really want to spend my garden guide. Well, I suppose I could, though. We'll find more in the archives. Alright, Moxton's Carafe. Okay, a support item for the dining room. That's interesting. One thing we were still missing. A graceful vessel composed of elegant curves and forged from prismatic crystal. Jonathan Moxton was a vintner of some repute, one of the few winemakers to succeed in cultivating grapes on the cold East Coast. Decadent tasting sessions at his clifftop plantation became popular with the city elite, who invariably made bulk orders before leaving. However, many spoke of how the wine seemed to lose its bouquet when sampled at home. Some said that it didn't travel well, but others claimed the difference was due to the strange decanter that Moxton used to serve his guests. And indeed, when this unusual glassware vanished some years ago, Moxton's business suffered a terminal decline. His empty plantation still clings in ruined tiers to the chalky cliffs of Solstice Reach. I like these little stories. All right, so let's focus on the hidden stash before we worry about Joskel's letter, but we'll get there. Also, a shipping crate has appeared, something to be concerned about later. Got ourselves a new program, got ourselves a new guide. Let's get you up here and... Actually, no, I want to put Aster on this. Since Aster has a unique skill. Or at least one that, you know, seems to be unique amongst us right now. Okay, so somebody needs to find more, like, charcoal and stuff. I think... Right now, continuing to search the archives is not going to get us very far. This is a Caligar only thing. I don't know. I'm just going to have him do it one more time. Just for something to be connected to. You have incantations. We can break down some of these ritual offerings. All right, another eroded cartouche, another 7 focus concern. All right, found ourselves a gift to the rat. Aster has gone up to level 3, which is fantastic. We may as well pry open this other ritual offering here. Got ourselves another didactic program, which will be useful, you know, when we get around to it. This is only 5. So in theory, we should be able to do it. Yeah, we can work on this hidden stash. Just go ahead and spend the exotic spices, which for some reason will help us find this item that was hidden in the kitchen. You're not finding anything else of terrible import. You can... Sorry. The crank just goes here. You can actually get this open now. I think that's a reasonable use of our booster matrix. And yeah, you're kind of finding nothing. Although I guess at this point, at the very least, finding another booster matrix would be good. Alright, let's create a gift to the moth. And a gift to the firefly, which is actually all that we would need for somebody to take down this ghoul. I think let's just go ahead and do it. Alright, like I said, we replace our booster matrix. Get another cartouche, which functions the same as all the others. That really is a very high value. And a frozen cartouche, which seems much easier to deal with. Let's get Atticus down here now with the Electro Lamp. Or, sorry, with Joskel's letter and the gift of the rat. Should be able to make some headway on this finally. Our own private critical tasks. We've also found another note from young Amy. I found one of the things Pa Alfred's been hiding. It's in the box with this note. An odd metal block with old writing stamped on it. I don't want him to know I found it, and I don't want us to have anything to do with it. The writing on it's all old and smoothed out, but it gives me the shivers. I'm going to put it in the well in this box so that we can forget it was ever here. Maybe Pa Alfred will forget about it. I hope so. He's getting very vague recently. He keeps going on weird late-night walks, mumbling to himself and peering around, as if he is looking for someone. Concerning. Yeah, some stuff to be worried about, for sure. Shipping crate, I guess we may as well just crack it open. It's certainly easy enough to do so. Alright, you're working up there. Vitali, you kind of just don't have anything important to do. Actually, sorry, we could work with this arcade lens. We haven't seen what this thing's for yet. Alright, a little bit more work to the shambling ghoul here. And it's now moved into the well house where it requires 3 points of this skill, which fortunately we have. We can just get right on that. You discovered a dulled... You know, I don't know if this is pronounced poignard or poignard. It really could be either, right? An aristocratic blade with a curling guard. It has become tarnished with age. Its sorry state hides the exquisite construction of a valuable antique. Okay, so a thing to work out in here for our growing blade collection. And here, Tohill's lens, a support item for the seller. Fantastic. How it found its way to Black Sands is a mystery, but this curious lens originated far to the east, in the land of Akar. It was stolen decades ago from the great statue of Os by Tohill, a notorious thief and gambler. It is rumored that Tohill scaled the great effigy while drunk and prized the left eye from its ancient marble socket. Although he accumulated an eclectic collection of goods in his career, Tohill lost his finds to debts almost as quickly as he acquired them. The lens had changed hands innumerable times before it found its way to the underground markets of Direwitch, but of all its owners, few have known how to activate its focusing power. It is said that only an Atlaxian spell is able to clear the cloud from its glass and allow its use as a powerful affix for lanterns and luminaries. That's pretty cool. Not necessary at the moment, but pretty cool. There's probably still stuff to find via the electro lamp, so let's go ahead and hit that again. And then there's nothing else terribly pressing. I mean, we got to replace some of our lost forge items, so you could come down here and provide us a little bit of shovel work. We can have Vitali just get another garden guide. Should work pretty flawlessly, I hope. Alright, first of all, it totally did. I'm not allowed to click on that yet. We've discovered I fished up a clockwork heart. Or sorry, no, I took from the ghoul a clockwork heart. Poor fella. Much as we did him a favor here, I can't help but feel for the old man. Atticus frowns wearily, anger rising in his eyes. You know, he didn't go into this like Lord Gideon, hungry for power and careless of others. He was just trying to protect those around him. Yes, a sad end indeed. I wonder how long this resurrection would have lasted, even without our interventions. There appears to have been some internal motor keeping the corpse running, an augmented heart of sorts, wasting sinew intertwined with metallic bands. However it was engineered, this thing obeys no natural law. Aster grips the clockwork heart in her fist, its surfaces still slick with dark blood. Now I've had enough. We should send this evil machine back to Nibiru. Show them that we cannot be held back from our mission. Yeah, you don't want to, like, examine it first? No, they really don't. Okay. That's certainly a thing that can be skipped. So, Dr. Caligar, now the last one to level up, but let's get that level up. And then you could stay here and just do this. I think I'm okay with that. We got to get, like I said, that we got to get some forge items together. So Atticus found some more exotic spices in another shipping crate. Let's have Atticus dig a little bit. We can now operate the shovel without any additional assistance. Oh. I don't know if there's anything to get in the archives. Mighty convenient that these same things keep showing up in the well. You may as well go and prepare the slumberfish. So I do feel like we're maybe running out of high-value stuff to just pop out of the well. But it does seem like sometimes you get a hold of some rarer items. Okay, let's see about this. Maybe you can pull something useful from the cliff top? Alright, Emberstone is certainly useful. Tracing charcoal, probably useful. Pull these cartouches down to the corner. And kind of just want to do it again. You should go and work the Emberstone. And then we need either an inspiration or we need mushrooms. Got ourselves a didactic program, which obviously will have some utility. Although right now everybody's level 3, so I'm expecting some of that to slow down for a little bit here. Okay. Created a glowing flask, not that we need it. And do I want to keep you up there? We could come down here and do a ritual. Yeah, we can pull these things apart without having to spend any resources. Okay, gift to the firefly, gift to the rat, both supremely useful. Alright, Ember Shards, fantastic news. So, now I think the critical question is... Oh wow, we got nothing from that. This requires 6. That's a little bit out of our skill range. Is this a thing that can only be done by Atticus? Yeah, let's grab Atticus then and fix that up, my friend. I was going to say, like, the thing we got to determine here is do we want to push this forward first or get into the frozen cartouche? But I think we're going to do it this way, and we'll just redevelop the blessings and stuff. All right, we also pulled, like, a whole bunch of notes and whatever. Gideon's note 11. Sophia has left me. I am now sure she has fled to Black Sands. Our last few conversations were terrible, rage-filled exchanges. I expect she is in town now, rallying her colleagues for support. It is probably best. It is certainly not safe for her to stay here right now. It is clear to me now that the rites of the circles require words drawn not just from books or tablets, but from relics taken from the domain of Nibiru itself. This also means that I can no longer rely on the Seekers for every scrap of knowledge, and I must begin to forge my own path and acquire more relics of incantation. Perhaps I can assemble a new rite from the Atlaxian cartouches I am gathering. Their origin might be the domain of Nibiru itself. Okay, I don't know that you have any particular reason to think that, but we certainly got a hold of that. And then also, the third part of Mr. Mouse. Mr. Mouse could hear muffled voices from beyond the walls. The visitors were here. He heard them fiddling with the door, trying the doorknob, prying at the lock with their strange tools. Eventually, he heard them come inside the house. Mr. Mouse scurried along the little corridors in the walls of his home. The boot prints of the visitors wrote a message in the ash from the riverbank, but Mr. Mouse could not read it. He was just a mouse. You could see the shadows of the visitors moving about in the other rooms, quietly searching. They were searching for the great king's dreams. They must not find them. Mr. Mouse had an idea. He was going to place something irresistible in a trap. You know, that's probably a good idea. This orderly reference, we should... Yeah, Gift to the Moth gets us there. We should be able to knock this out even with Caligar. So let's see about that. And then... Yeah, at this point you have so many upgrades, but you don't need any of them to just keep searching the cellar. Alright, and you're forging the forge. And you're opening a shipping crate in this room. Alright, show me cool stuff. Well, we found the Birdholt Poignard, a restored noble's dagger intended for display rather than use. Its slender blade shines again with a remarkable luster. As part of a set, it could command a high price. Alright, so we just go to the courtyard. Interact with it there. Don't lose my shovel. Yeah, let's just be rid of the damn thing. And then we're actually feeling tired again already. Well, I'm going to do this. There's a chance of failure due to sleepy. We found an angry note. My darling Oswald, what have they done to you? After serving the house so well and for so long, they treat you like refuse. You even broke your right arm in your service to these pigs. And now, no respect, no care, your bones boxed up in some ebony case stashed in the forge without proper burial or ceremony. I will not stay here any longer. I would rather risk destitution than continue working for such fiends. Okay, something to be translated in the forge. Caligar, are you busy right now? I don't think you are. I think we can go ahead and just do this. No, it requires 2 points. Everything requires 2 points. What a bummer. Here's that ember fungus we need. Actually, if you could process that, that would be lovely. And then we also discovered this burial report. A post-mortem report. As instructed by the master, I have dismembered the body of X and placed the remains in the appointed locations. The master says that the dismemberment will ensure that the invisible miasma of the plague cannot reform. The feet were most corrupted and buried under the chalk buff on the cliff tops. The calcium deposits there might help to contain any blight that remains. That does not seem like a thing they are confident that they know, you know? This approach might seem disrespectful, but just as we must honor the dead, we must also protect the living. ML. Okay, so something for Caligar to do the second I devote her to the lab. We'll get there. We'll get there. And it's a cliff top one. We certainly have enough booster devices for the cliff top. So we're getting the ember fungus going. I need another... Okay, you're already working. I guess you may as well search down here one more time, and then we need to put everybody back to nap mode. Alright, Ember Liquid. Flicker Fry and Slumberfish. Some more Ember Fungus. Scrubbing salts as well. A single-use batch of caustic salts. It is hard to tell if their cleansing bite had been improved or hampered by their storage in the briny cellar alcoves. Use this in a well to make things clearer and cleaner. Or the other way around, however you want to process that. You get in here, you get in here. Let's all just have a little rest. And you know what? That does sound awfully good. I might have to follow suit here. I think that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. We managed to figure out the identity of that ghoul and then absolutely obliterate him, or see him obliterated moments later. So that's a bummer. Just a mild bummer. But I think we're making pretty good progress here. I don't know how long it's going to be before we see another thing we're building for the composer. I reckon pretty soon. So, come back next time, hopefully, for that and some more evidence of big progress. And we'll see you then.